Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, accompanied by Sophia. Who knows how long that's gonna last. And today I'm actually filming my very first monthly reading roundup video. So what I usually do on my blog is that I'll have one whole giant post that's everything that I read, everything that I'm currently reading as of the end of the month, and then everything that I acquired. So I think that that's going to be a little bit too long for a video, so I'm thinking what I'm going to do is actually split it into a book haul post for the month, and then I will do sort of everything that I read, and then I'll do a TBR post for October. So this might be one long video, this might be two shorter videos, who knows? So I wanted to start with my book haul. I acquired a lot of books this month. It's actually a little bit overwhelming. It's amazing because I actually ended up getting on some publishers' blogger lists. I requested a bunch of stuff, but it was a lot. Not helped by the fact that I bought a lot of books this month as well, so I have this giant, just towering stack of books that's gonna fall on me at some point. And it's amazing because there's so much amazing stuff in there, but it's also a little bit intimidating. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, a little bit anxious, but what I thought I would do is I'll start with the books that I was sent by publishers, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys the books that I ended up buying. So I wanted to start with a book that I actually won in a Twitter competition. This is from Barrington Stoke, and it's Senseless by Steve Cole. If you don't know about Barrington Stoke, they're actually a very, very cool publisher. So they're a children's publisher, and what they do is they publish books designed for kids with reading disabilities, learning disabilities. They're very easy to read, and it's everything from like the tone of the page to the size of the words, and it's very, very cool. I like them a lot. So this is Senseless, and this looks like it's kind of a sort of gaming tournament type book, and it does look very cool. This copy is signed by the author, which is very exciting, so thank you for putting up that competition. I'm really, really excited to read this. I'm so happy that I won. So some of these books you might have actually seen in my book haul post that I did a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to breeze through those really quickly, and then I'm going to get to the stuff that you guys haven't seen yet. So the first three are actually from Sweet Cherry Publishing, and they're a children's publisher. It's based here in England. You guys saw this on the book haul video that I did before, but I'm just going to show you again really quickly. I'll link that video below so you guys can take a look if you missed it. And that is, first of all, The 13th Reality, The Journal of Curious Letters by James Dashner. So James Dashner wrote the Maze Runner series, so this is a new series that he's going to be doing. I haven't read any of his books yet, but I'm really looking forward to this. So next up from Sweet Cherry Publishing are the first two books in the Hopeless Heroes series, and that is Here Comes Hercules and Hera's Terrible Trap. I talked about this on the book haul video. They look really, really cute. I've started Here Comes Hercules, and I'm really loving it. It's so cute, and I was obsessed with Greek mythology when I was a kid, so I would have absolutely gone crazy for these when I was little. So the next book is actually one that you might have seen me talking about all over social media. I did a review of it today on my blog, I did a video review of it last week, and I've been talking about it all over Twitter, and that is Electric Dreams by Philip K. Dick. So this edition actually ties in with the show that's on Channel 4 here in the UK right now. I think we're 2 episodes in right now, and the next one premieres on Sunday. I really, really love this. I'd never read anything by him before, and I don't really know why. He just kind of passed me by. But I'm really glad that I got this, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a perfect place to start if you've never read any of his stuff, like me. So next up is one of my most highly anticipated books. It's coming out next year in January, and that is The Girl in the Tower by Katherine Arden. I am so excited for this book. I read The Bear and the Nightingale kind of on a whim. I just decided to buy it. I had heard good things about it. I think on the day that it came out, which is really unusual for me. I read it, I loved it, I've been lending it to everyone. I think my mother currently has it. And I thought it was fantastic. I was skeptical when I first heard that there was going to be a sequel. However, I've really come around to it, and I am really excited to read this. The only reason I haven't read this yet is because I am actually waiting for the weather to get a little bit colder. The Bear and the Nightingale I read in sort of late January, early February, and it was so atmospheric and it was so perfect. So I think I might wait until November to read this. Comes out in January, so I've still got a little bit of time, but I'm really, really looking forward to this. Last but not least, for the books that I talked about in my book haul, this one hadn't actually shown up yet, but I was so excited that I decided to talk about it anyway, and that's Artemis by Andy Weir. I am so excited for this book. It's going to be so amazing. So I loved The Martian. I loved The Martian so much. I loved the book. I loved the movie. And it really kind of got me into science fiction. And when I heard that he was writing another book, this is a standalone, I just was so beyond excited. So if you want to talk beautiful proofs, Artemis is seriously one. I mean, so look at the cover. Da-da-da. It's so pretty, well branded. It's got sprayed edges, black sprayed edges. How cool is that? And then it also has maps. I love maps. I love a good map in a book, and I actually use maps a lot, so this is great. This is going to be one of my upcoming reads because this comes out in November, so I want to make sure that I am well ahead of the curve here, and I'm so looking forward to reading this. So that's it for books that you've already heard me talk about in my book haul. So now I'm going to talk about the things that I have received since then. There's quite a few here. I wanted to start with a book that I actually already managed to finish, and that is The Bastard Legion by Gavin Smith. This is a very cool book. I really enjoyed this. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily for sort of sci-fi beginners because there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of technical terms that goes into it, there's a whole virtual reality thing that goes in, but if you like military sci-fi, you must pick this book up. Basically about an ex-Marine, and she hijacks a prison transport vessel and puts sort of explosive collars, Suicide Squad style, around the necks of all the prisoners and essentially turns them into her own mercenary army, which is horrible, but really cool. I really enjoyed this book. I'll have a review for it up on publication day, which is on the 5th of October. And I, if you're curious, gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. So the next book on my list is actually approved by an author who's very well known. However, I've never read any of his stuff before. And that is The Seventh Decimate, and that is by Stephen Donaldson. So Stephen Donaldson wrote this series called The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant ages back. I have not read them. I just haven't had a chance to get around to them yet. I was getting close when I was in my 4-year-long fantasy kick. However, I kind of burnt out and I just never got around to them. But I'm really looking forward to this. So this will come out on the 17th of November. I'm looking forward to reading this probably at the end of October. The next book on the list is one that I've actually heard a lot about. I've seen a lot of buzz for it. It has an amazing cover, and I was so thrilled to be able to get a copy of this book, and that is The Last Namasara. But this looks amazing. It's got dragons, it's got a strong female character, and just from what I've heard from the publisher and what I've heard from other people who have read it, it sounds absolutely amazing. So next on the list is The Crow Garden by Alison Littlewood. This is actually a book that I requested on BookBridger a while back and just completely forgot about it. BookBridger is kind of funny because you can request print arcs and print books from publishers. However, there's no way of knowing if you've been approved, if you're going to be sent anything, if you've been declined, whatever. So if you send in a request, you'll find out that you were approved when it shows up on your doorstep. So this was one of those. But this looks really cool. It looks kind of like a mix between sort of literary fiction, historical fiction, maybe a little bit of supernatural, and I am really looking forward to this. I absolutely love this cover. So the last book, I'm already exhausted. The last book on the list of books that I received from publishers this month was probably the most hyped book on the list, and I'm so happy to have gotten a chance to read this book, and that is Warcross by Marie Lu. I have never read any of her books before, so I was really looking forward to this. I've had hype ruin books for me this year, since I've started kind of getting into the blogging community and been sort of overloaded with the publicity for some of these books. However, that was not the case for this book. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was just so much fun. It's so sort of visually appealing. It's beautiful. Like, okay, look at this. I know that this has been going around on Twitter ever since someone discovered this, but take the cover off and it's rainbow. How cool is that? You can tell that a publisher is really investing in a book when they kind of do this kind of artwork with it. I mean, it's got colored end pages, it's got, you know, this beautiful cover, and it's got a great sort of dust jacket. I really enjoyed this book. I'm actually thinking that I might do a video review of it in addition to doing a review on my blog, so keep an eye out for that. That's it for the books that I received from publishers. Now we're going on to books that I actually purchased for myself. So to start, you've seen me talk about this in my September TBR. Sadly enough, I did not actually get a chance to read this. I bought it on the 31st of August, I'm pretty sure, but it was after I had posted my August reading roundup. So I'm going to include it here, and that is Leigh Bardugo's Wonder Woman Warbringer. I need to read this. It is one of my most highly anticipated books of the year, and I haven't read it yet, and I really, really need to, and I'm so excited, and I need to sit down and I need a chance to get to it because it looks amazing, it's gorgeous, and I love her so much. So speaking of beautiful books, the next two are actually just stunning, stunning books. So the next one is another book by Leigh Bardugo. It came out a couple days ago. That's The Language of Thorns. So if you know anything about the Grisha trilogy and Six of Crows and all of that, this is basically fables and folklore in that universe, which, like, I'm sold 100%. I love books like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. And, I mean, look at the inside. Okay, let's not destroy this book as I show you guys. So look at the inside. I love this kind of thing. This is my catnip right here. I have a feeling since they are shorter stories, I'm gonna be able to breeze through this really, really quick. So I'm so looking forward to this. And I really, really want to read this very, very soon. So the contender for most beautiful book of the year is this next one. I made sure I got to Waterstones and I got my signed limited edition copy, and that is A Skin Full of Shadows by Frances Hardinge. I mean, look at this. It's a matte cover. And it's got foil on it. It's beautifully designed, shiny, shiny, and even better, sprayed edges in an unusual color, which is fantastic. And check this out. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on video, but look at this. Isn't that amazing? It's so gorgeous. Look at the spine. It's obviously a beautifully designed book. They've obviously invested a lot in this. I'm really looking forward to this. I have only ever read one of her other books, and of course it was The Lie Tree, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and it was before I really started reading YA, so it was one of my first exposures to it, and I was just, my expectations were completely blown out of the water. I tried to hand that book to everyone. I think it's just fantastic. If you haven't read it, you need to pick up The Lie Tree. So the next three books, again, are books that you've already seen if you've seen my book haul post from a couple weeks ago, so I'll just breeze through them really quickly. I won't talk about them much. This first one is actually one of my current reads. I'm hoping to finish it maybe tonight so that it can count toward my goal for books for the month, and that is Matilda by Roald Dahl. I have never read this, which is shocking. I know, a lot of people are kind of cross at me for having never read this book because apparently it's perfect for me. I'm about 60 pages in, and I am really enjoying it. I do think that it is a little bit harder to read about such horrible, horrible, horrible parents when you're a little bit older. I would have eaten this up when I was a kid though, and I'm really loving it now. Next on the list is the Man Booker short list book, and that is Ali Smith's Autumn. Really looking forward to this. It's supposed to be a great, kind of the first great post-Brexit novel. It's supposed to be amazing, it's beautiful, it's just out in paperback, and I'm really looking forward to this. So another one on the list, which was actually part of the buy one get one half price, in which I got Autumn by Ali Smith, and that is An Almond for a Parrot by Ray Delaney. This is one that I just kind of picked up and took a chance on. It's got a beautiful cover, it's textured, which is great, and it looks really, really good. It looks fascinating. I don't know much about it, but I'm really looking forward to this. So the rest of these books I actually got all on the same day when I went to go get Skin Full of Shadows. I swear I just went out to get Skin Full of Shadows and I ended up buying 6 books. Don't know what's wrong with me. But first up on the list, this was actually recommended to me on Twitter. I hadn't heard about it before, but it does look amazing. And that is Muresi. Apparently, according to the back, it combines the flavor of The Handmaid's Tale with bursts of excitement reminiscent of Harry Potter's magic duels. I'm in. I'm sold 100%. Next on the list is actually a book that I'd wanted to get at Yelk, but it was not available. It was recommended to me by Alwyn Hamilton, who's an author that I really love and was doing like a bookseller slot in the Waterstones shop at Yelk. And so I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to find this, and I finally found a copy of it, and that is The Winner's Curse. It has a fabulous, beautiful cover. I'm just judging from the back, I'm not sure if it necessarily fits in with the book. It sounds quite dark. It's got like slavery and whatnot in it, but you know, beautiful cover, more power to them. So the last 3 are actually books that I got in the 3 for 2 offer in Blackwell, so technically one of these was free, so don't judge me too harshly. The first is The Master and Margarita. I have been waiting to read this book for ages. It popped up on a friend's blog. It was a book that she said that she loved, and I've just been wanting to read it forever. I never really had enough motivation to go out and get it. It's one of those books that's always been on my back burner, but I saw it in the 3 for 2 deal and I immediately snatched it up. Next in the 3 for 2 deal was actually They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this up. I don't usually like, it feels very, okay, I know it's not contemporary. It's technically, I'm sure, science fiction, but it felt very contemporary and I wasn't sure, but I've been hearing more and more and more about it and it sounds wonderful. I'm gonna cry so hard, I can tell, and just look at the title. But I am really looking forward to this. I've never read anything of his before, but he's apparently a wonderful author. And last, I'm so tired. Last on this list, I actually bought a different book, but it turned out that my mom already owns it and has just read it, so she's going to bring that to me. So I exchanged it for this one. That's A Shiver of Snow and Sky. I didn't actually realize that this book was out. I've been seeing it everywhere on Twitter. Some authors that I really like have been absolutely loving this book. So I decided to take a chance and pick it up. It sounds kind of like a fable or a fairy tale, and don't know much about it, but it's gorgeous and I've heard really good things, so I'm really looking forward to this. Whew, so that is it for the books that I've acquired this month. If you've been keeping count, that is 23 new books this month. That's like 3 months worth of reading for me. So I've really got to sit down and clear out my schedule and just work through some of this stuff. Again, I'm feeling a little anxious these days because of the sheer number of books that I have, but I've read a fair number of those already, which is good, and we're working on it. We'll get there eventually, guys. If you have a book buying problem like I do, please leave me a comment. Maybe we can start a support group or something, because I need a lot of help. If you want to follow me on social media, I will leave links to all of that below. I will leave links to the videos that I've already done that I talked about and the reviews that I talked about below. And leave a comment, say hi, tell me what you've bought this month, tell me if you've read any of those books. I would love to hear from you. And it looks like this is quite a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and split this off and do another video for the stuff that I've read this month. So I will post that the day after this video goes up, and I will see you then.